Being a night security guard is a puddle of piss. Every other night for the last 3 years, I've been going from warehouse to warehouse, getting paid to do fuck all, except watch shitty grainy life feeds from dusk till dawn. I've never been one for superstition. The tales of creepy crawlies and ghosts elicited more laughs than scares. A pragmatic agnostic, if I were to label myself. Ain't seen no proof of God, but hell, if he's out there, I ain't sure I'm making eternal paradise. Tonight is some rundown old dive. Storage for those old Freddy Fazbear locations. Fuck knows why they haven't been scrapped, or who's even paying the lease now that creepy old guy disappeared. Guessing it's just all gonna sit there collecting dust till the account dries out. Not my job to care. Whatever schmuck pays for this unit is paying my salary. Bleed 'em till they're dry, I say. As much as I usually don't care what's being stored, I'd be lying to say that the contents of tonight's job doesn't intrigue me. There's a couple machines in there who kill some kids for fuck's sake. There's been some messed up shit in some buildings, but no dead children for all I know. Sure, some weird remnants of kink dungeons or some weird fuckers snuffing the porn collection, but no mangled up kid corpses for certain. 10 p.m. Pulling up to a decrepit wrought iron building, I check the time. 10:07. Only got 3 minutes until Big Man docks me an hour pay. I start to rush, tapering off the power of my pride and joy. Ford Thunderbird 1978 V8 5.8 liter engine. What a beauty she is, the closest thing I got to a girlfriend. Every touch I have of her is tender and gentle. And any man who does her wrong is going to find himself on the wrong end of a 12 gauge. Hurriedly, I dart my eyes around trying to find where to pick up the keys, until I settle on a man in bright blue overalls covering a checkered crimson shirt. Visibly pissed off, the man walks over towards my direction before handing me the keys. He lambasts me for being late and makes sure to tell me to be on time next time. He's got casserole getting cold at home. Before he reaches his car, the man turns around. Be careful, sometimes the animatronics move about a little at night. Don't get too close and you'll be fine. Now fuck off. Frankly, a bit annoyed at the man's rude demeanor, I wandered towards the front door, grabbing the door handle firmly. The weight takes me by surprise. It feels as if I'm trying to open some kind of vault, but I managed to dislodge it open just enough to scamper through and shut it behind me. Whoever made this place got that custom fitted, but why'd you need such a strong door? Immediately upon entering, a strong stench of rust and damp assaults me. Wrenching away my breath, causing me to gag. After I come a bit to my senses, I notice a garish yellow sign stating the rules of the warehouse. 1. All personnel must turn the lights off of the building. This is to prevent degradation of the materials present. Flashlights are provided at multiple stations around should they be necessary. 2. Stay inside the security office at all times unless necessary. Close the doors and watch the cameras. 3. In the event of an attempted break-in, please do not panic. Provided all security measures have been taken, the perpetrator will be dealt with swiftly, either by discouragement by our defenses or by automated police response. 4. Please note down any abnormal activities or events you may witness during your shift in the provided notebook. 5. Do not touch the animatronics. Before me lie a rough workshop table, littered with scratches and indentations, and on it a beaten leather-bound notebook with a pen and jet black flashlight. I take the notebook and flashlight, shoving both into my pockets. I open another door, not as heavy this time, but the darkness beyond seeps through as soon as it cracks wide. Lightly illuminated floor markings direct me towards a large box. The warehouse is so dark, I can't make out much more than rough contours. Opening one final door, I make it to an office room. Lightly buzzing monitors adorn a large wall, all flickering between multiple grayscale images that I assume to be a live feed of the building. The room is lightly lit, not only by the glow of the screens, but also by a single suspended light bulb, humming out a monotonous tune. I search around the room, but all I can find is the desk and chair in front of the monitors and some locked filing cabinets. There's 2 doors to the room, the one I entered, and the one opposite side of the room. The first door has a lock that fits one of the keys I was given by the overall guy, but the other seems wedged, stuck with no discernible way to unlock or unjam it. I settle down on the chair, throwing my legs up onto the hard oak table, getting ready for a long night. 12 a.m. Now, a couple hours in is where the boredom really starts to set in. I wager anyone to find someone who can sit around doing fuck all except look at some black and white images on loop all day and be excited. Usually around this time, I whip out some of the depraved collections I pocketed from earlier jobs. But unfortunately, the last job had a camera in the office that wasn't hooked up to the main system, and they caught me jerking it to some German granny BDSM shit. Fucking 1984, I tell ya. It's a man's right to relax his thoughts. How is he supposed to curb the boredom? Anyway, not even like I'm leaving jizz stains everywhere. Bring tissues to clean up like any civilized person. Anyway, off topic. No jerking it tonight, but God knows what else I've got to do. I start to inspect every image popping up, carefully noticing, amidst the cacophony of signage and ancient crappy furniture, a very familiar face. Kimber B for Freddy fucking Fazbear. Who'd have thought the day I could see him in person again, after they shut all these places down, would come so soon? You know, as a kid, I was always one for those restaurants. Crappy pizza that tastes like cardboard, the little games that rarely ever worked in each quarters. Hell, that fucking fruit punch clown that blew my fucking mind. Fuck, Chica was one of my first fictional crushes. And before you judge me, there's no reason to make the Chica redesign so curvaceous and hot. Just saying. Bored by 2 hours, cooped up in a dank, dreary coop, I set off, armed with the flashlight I was given, towards the location aimed at by B4. The darkness assaulted me once more, plunging me into a strong sensory deprivation. One click of the light switch, no change. I start to shake the shaft vigorously, then try again. The light flickers to life, piercing through the shadows, guiding my way to Freddy. It only takes a couple minutes until I stumble upon the pizzeria sign I saw on the feed, but Freddy's nowhere to be seen. Starting to panic now, I realize these fuckers could actually move. They couldn't have been changed for a couple years now. How is it still possible to have gas in the tank? I rummage around a bit more until I see it. A big, thick brown hand, the strong fingers coiled around a big black shaft, leading to the bulbous, lightly reflective microphone head. Must have just remembered wrong. Sighed a breath of relief and reminding myself how stupid it would be. It was always a dream to go on stage with Freddy, get my lips right up against his mic and sing my heart out. Yes, I know it's not a real mic, but it's still cool. Fuck off. Freddy's hand dwarfs my own, making me feel a little intimidated, but I grab his big, meaty, closed fist and move my mouth towards the mic. Suddenly, I feel a force push towards me as the whole body of Freddy unveils itself from the shadows. Don't be scared. We're here to have a lot of fun. Crackles out from the old, worn voice box. It appears to struggle at first, but the more words that come out, the clearer the sound reverberates. The deep tones of the big burly bear ring true throughout the building, echoing off every surface filling the room. His body is slightly tattered in places, pieces of fur falling off at the seams and dirt and fluff matted into his belly and legs. Luckily, his face is fully intact, and just as I remember, the absurdity of the situation is lost for me for a second as I revel in the moment. Hi, Freddy. I'm working tonight. I'm just a little bored. Fancy showing me about and finding your friends? I joke, fully expecting another random predetermined voice line to escape from him. He responds, "Ha-ha, of course. You have no idea how bored we've all been stuck inside this warehouse. Ever since that old man left us, we've been so lonely." Slightly concerned at the intelligence the AI has shown, I retreat a little, but my intrigue keeps me engaged. The old guy with the blue overalls. Yeah, can't imagine he's any fun. Was a massive dick to me earlier.
No, William. He used to play and tinker with us, but he was cruel, and none of us were upset when he ended.
William? As in William Afton? Of Afton Robotics? Oh shit, so that old cunt was actually dead, huh? Crazy. Wait, how do you know he died? He's been missing for years. No one knows where he is. As if reading my thoughts, Freddy claims,
He had a safe room in the last place where if he ever felt threatened, he'd go. But we couldn't enter. It was written off as a wall in our code. One day he entered and then never came out. Our souls pushed him into a suit and there he died.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold up, your souls? You're telling me you're not just lines of code, but souls?
Yes.
I'm guessing the lives of those children went somewhere after all, then, but I wonder how many of them are haunted. Surely they can all be. There wasn't that many deaths, unless maybe some of those missing kids were also in there. Oh, fuck. A girl in my class, and she went missing in 83. What if she's in one of those metal husks? She really got out of here. This is the fucking scoop of the century. I don't need this shitty job. Think of how much the papers would pay for the mad millionaire child murderer and the location of his body. I do really want to see Chica, though, eh? Fuck it. I can wait till the morning. Freddy, let's meet your friends.
Follow me.
He begins to wander off to a more open part of the complex to where a whirring generator can be found with many wires and cables being haphazardly attached.
Turn on the generator. My hands aren't dexterous enough to flip the switch.
I flip the switch, causing the generator to roar to prominence, leading a sea of warm orange glow to erupt from the ceiling as more and more filaments are being powered.
Wait here while I gather my friends.
Waiting for what seems forever for Freddy to return. I wonder if this is all some strange, fucked up hallucination I'm having. Makes no sense. There's no way this can be real. Before I have time to ponder over the situation more, Freddy returns, followed shortly behind by Foxy, Bonnie, and Chica. Now, these were the original designs and not the toy versions, so not my all-time favorites, but still iconic. I can't believe they're all here. Freddy's bow tie erupts with his voice once more.
We're all here now. Fancy having some fun?
What you got in mind? You're the ones designed to make people's days, I joke.
We've not felt the warmth of another body for so long. So how about we fuck?
Your children's animatronics. Where did you even learn that? And even if I wanted to, it's not like you got anything to use.
I told you, we're souls. We've grown up now, and don't worry, our designer was a bit of a freak.
As Freddy stops talking, three massive clocks erupt from the lower bodies of the three male animatronics, and a plate slides away from Chica, revealing a perfect rose-pink pussy that looks puffy and juicy. Freddy walks towards me, dropping his microphone, but with a new shaft in hand. I laugh at the absurdity of it all as I give the long, thick shaft a nudge, causing it to sway to and fro. It's softer than I expected, definitely not made from steel or any metal, but from something warm and more human-like. I size up the three men. Foxy had the longest but the skinniest clock, Bonnie the shortest but by far the fattest, and Freddy a combination of the two. After practicing for hours with dildos I stole back home, I thought, fuck it, why not? How many people can say they sucked off Freddy Fazbear? I opened my mouth wide, taking the tip onto my tongue. This is by far the thickest thing I've ever put into me. Freddy lets out a soft groan before grabbing my head and forcing his cock all the way down. I gasp for air as my eyes roll back, his dick reaching down my throat as I struggle to breathe and stare into his eyes.
Good boy.
He moans, thrusting his hips gently towards me. Foxy wanders behind me before using his hook to tear off all my work clothes, leaving me only in my socks and sneakers, my cock flapping out, feeling the stale air across the circumcised head. The pirate grabs my hips and lifts my ass to his mouth, his own mouth still fully occupied of Freddy's manhood. Foxy traces his long metallic cold tongue around my rim before slipping inside my rectum, causing me to finally get hard. Foxy swirls his tongue about relentlessly, attacking all of my insides and winding me up, preparing me for what's to come. Putting back down into a position of all fours, Foxy grabs my hips and directs my ass towards his serpentine piece, slipping inside my now loose hole. Immediately I feel a prod to my stomach and look down to see my cord deforming around his pipe, with every thrust displacing my organs and causing waves of nausea to flow over me rhythmically. Freddy lets out a roar.
Oh, I'm gonna Freddy Faznut.
A black, viscous substance starts to fill my mouth at such a force that much of it is expelled out of my nose, covering my face with snotty, oily cum. And my tears, I try to swallow it all, but I gag, forcing the contents of my stomach to expel over Freddy's cock, coating him in my stomach acids and boil. Freddy's fast balls start to contract as it's all emptied into me, before he takes a step back, his cock no longer rigid. Bonnie grabs my face and directs me towards Chica. She's now lying on the floor, her rose mound coaxing my eyes to stare, He pushes my face down into her, almost enveloping my head fully into her cunt. I start to move my tongue around, searching desperately for a clit, but it looks as if the designers forgot to include one. It seems the animatronics were built around the creator's desires, and not to be anatomically correct. Judging by the inclusion of the bat balls and the exclusion of the clit, you can tell Henry's obsession with manly musk and disdain for eating out his wife. At a loss, as my usual technique is rendered ineffective, I start to lick longingly the entrance to her crevice, which seems to be effective as she lets out a gentle cluck. At this time, Foxy starts to shake vigorously as I feel his pipe engorge and knot against my ass cheeks, making me unable to hold back my moans of pleasure. He unleashes a torrent of cum that feels like it entered my stomach from behind, causing my belly to bulge out and me to feel like a sloshing container. As soon as he pulls out, a large pop echoes out, and hot, sticky fluid starts to leak out of me. The gas from his pounding is unleashed in multiple rapid-fire bursts of flatulence, spraying black ejaculate across the floor and painting the shredded remains of my clothing. Chica speaks out from her breath ragged and words intermittent due to her moans. I'm so choosy from your class, but then I want you to fuck me. Please fuck my dirty bird pussy. I get up off of all fours and onto my knees. As I do so, more viscous fluid flows out of me, returning my bloated, deformed body to normal by coasting my leg hairs of sticky black lumps. I move over towards Chica, mounting her and guiding my throbbing hard cock towards her chicken cunt. Her entrance begins to convulse and swirl in preparation for my dick to impregnate her with my seed. As I enter her, the walls rhythmically contract and press up against me, her pussy perfectly designed to satisfy men. It's hard not to instantly come, but I resist the best I can, as I start to press into her with growing pace and strength. Bonnie rotates around behind me. Previously content with watching, he now starts to press his log-like cock against my loose sphincter. I start to let out a scream, but before I can form words, it's already too late. His gigantic cock tears open my asshole, contorting my face into a pained scream, but without the sound. It feels as if my prostate is external with the amount of pressure grinding it against my bones. Before I know it, I'm slammed into Chica's bib, the bunny with a fistful of my hair as he slams my limp, useless body repeatedly, drilling his fat bowling ball into me. The force of Bonnie's weight makes me inch even deeper into Chica as she lets out even more moans. Bonnie lets out a deep guttural cry as he thrusts one last time before my ass is released of his torment. Now so numb the blast couldn't even be felt. The only remaining feeling, the streaming cum and blood trickling down my leg. At the enormous pressure release, my body can no longer take it as I lose all strength in my legs. Luckily, before I can stop thrusting, Chica lets out a moan that shakes the room. She screams, her pussy mechanically ringing me even harder than before. As the mechanical cavern envelops me tighter, my resolve diminishes, causing me to orgasm deep inside Chica's freshly orgasmed poem. I breathe a sigh of relief that it's finally over. My ass numb and bleeding and my mouth stretched and stained with cum and vomit. I lean back, falling out of Chica's convulsing pussy, and lightly on my back, staring at the ceiling, and inhaling rapidly, trying to gain back normality to my breathing. Wow. Is all I can muster as my eyes locked with Freddy's, his mouth turned upwards into a wry smile.
You didn't think you were done now, did you, superstar? This is only 3 of my friends. There's plenty more around here backed up, and we've got all night.
Shock fills my face, contorting me from a pained yet contented smile to one of panic. I couldn't take much more torment from these creatures. Their manhoods were too large, and their flowers too gluttonous. I attempt to stand and run, but find Foxy as a hold of one leg, and his hook primed directly at my Achilles. I hold my breath and relax my body, understanding my fate. Help me, Susie. I tried to bargain, but she simply scoffs at me and says, did I ever care she was missing all these years before tonight? For she does compliment my head-giving and thrusting, which puts a short smile on my face until I remember it's a fucking animatronic chicken complimenting my sex skills. Not a human. Helpless, I look dejectedly up at the ceiling, regretting my decision to leave the safety of the cube. As the suspended warm lighting swings gently from its fixtures, the fatigue of the intense session reigns over me as my eyes begin to feel heavy, leaving me glued to the ground by oil and bodily fluids. Eventually, I drift out of consciousness as I hear Freddy tell me one last thing.
We'll be back later to get a little rest. Don't you dare try to leave. I've been nice as you've been a good boy. You don't want to see what happens when you're bad. To be continued.